at Sellers Park, they will be a difficult team to beat. And we have seen that they're not playing like a small club. They're trying to set up their own very flexible style of play. And they are maintaining possession. They are comfortable with the ball. Except for one game, they have had majority of the possession in the other three. And their average possession across the 4 games has been around 55%. Which is similar to Manchester United. So it will also be a battle of who is retaining more ball during the game. So that will be something interesting. Where I think we might be able to catch them is they have been having a few defensive errors. So it will be critical for us to maybe continue with some of that press that we saw in the first couple of games, invite some of those errors, and then hopefully continue to be clinical and finish off those chances that we create.
It's almost funny talking about defensive errors as the United fans because we've seen most of them ourselves. But yeah, what I remember of Crystal Palace last season, besides from our whopping defeat at Sellers Park, is choosing 3 of their players and going into double game week of a FPL season. I had all Mateta, Eze and Olise. And it was so exciting to see their brand of football, and they didn't disappoint, They gave a good host of points there. But yeah, talking about their style of play, they usually play a 3-4-3 or a 3-4-2-1, wherein they start 3 at the back and they have wing backs rather than full backs. And these wing backs are very crucial to their system because they are the ones who bombard forward and create chances as well as decent defensively as well. We talked about Mitchell and Munoz. Munoz is the one who caught the eye of almost all the fans who was being discussed pre-season. But you mentioned that Mitchell has been better on form. Would you like to talk about the fullbacks for a second?
On the evidence of some of the gameplay that I saw, they are making a lot of attacks from the left, and which is where Mitchell is bombarding forward. Eze is obviously on the left, who tucks in sometimes. And that creates a bit of an overload on the left side. So Mitchell is doing very well. Munoz, obviously, we saw at least last season. This season, he's not been in top form. We saw at the end of last season. He has that ability to be on the right side of the D when it matters, and he has a mean finish in him. He can pass the ball. So those wing-back positions will be very important to control, and especially on the left this time, given the form that Mitchell and Eze both are in. Mitchell, in fact, has created the highest expected assists for Crystal Palace at this point in time, and the second highest is Eze. So there is no doubt about the fact that it is going to be from the left where we will have to be careful, and which is where their left versus our right in the form of Mazraoui and most likely Ahmad, in my opinion, will be very critical. We will have to ensure that Ahmad is tracking back and covering Mitchell when it is required. Mazraoui is at his defensive best, then having to deal with Eze, not allowing him a lot of space, because we have seen Eze can get a goal out of nothing. He has that potential. It doesn't matter what position he is in. He has that banger of a goal in him. He has already scored something like that this season. He has hit the post from outside the D. So that will be one key battle that I am looking forward to, and which is what maybe we might be able to exploit as well. If Mitchell is bombarding forward, an error, if we are able to induce there and pass the ball quickly to Ahmad, who will then run into space and create chances.
Yeah, no, Sellers Park is not that big a ground. It's a very small ground and a very energetic ground. Our defenders will have to be on their toes to go against this attacking lineup. Eze has a goal in him wherever around the box he is. Mateta, though not in his best form right now, is still a goal scorer who has benefited a lot from the system. And Nketiah was a great player I thought Nketiah and Emil Smith-Rowe were great players for Arsenal. Arsenal get a good bit of business selling them to Palace and Fulham respectively. So yeah, Nketiah also has a game in them. Although Nketiah, I'd say, is not that great in a form because he hasn't played for 8. He has a goal in him as well.
He went on to score in the Carabao Cup, so I think he's off the mark for Crystal Palace now. So he will also have some confidence. Eze scored in the Carabao Cup as well, and the only 2 wins that they've had this season are in the Carabao Cup. So maybe they would want to leverage some of that and build on that as well.
Where do you see this match being won and lost? I'll talk about my key battles. My key battle would be Wharton versus Menu in the pivot midfield, because these are the areas where both the teams start their attack. Wharton is notorious for breaking chances and spreading the ball. He has a very good passing range, not unlike Menu. So who wins the midfield battle between these two will define the flow of the game for me. Who dominates on the ball, who dominates the possessions, and who makes the most out of the chances will depend on what Moses Merino goes.
Do you think this is a good game for Ugarte to start, given they're trying to build quickly? Because we have seen in the past that Crystal Palace, for all the possession that they try to maintain around 55-60%, they are very effective on the counter also. They are very effective with the direct play also. Seen Wharton make those slick one-touch passes and suddenly Eze is in a lot of space. So somebody like Ugarte, who is known to break down play, who's known to be slightly aggressive in the midfield, is it a good game for him to get his debut in the Premier League?
Definitely. For me, this game is a game wherein the midfield will need to be mobile. All three of our fielders, Menu, Bruno, as well as Ugarte, who I'm expecting to start in this one, will need to be running, will need to be breaking chances, and will need to be looking at their back because these three attacking unit can hurt them at any point of time. So yes, as well as Ericsson has done over the past couple of games, I don't see him starting a third game in a week. Also, against a midfield like this, against a setup like this, we need players who are very mobile. We cannot afford a mistake in the midfield in this. Wharton will hurt you. Players like Hughes will hurt you. And yes, I see Ugarte, Menu, and Bruno starting this one. Who is your preferred midfield this game?
No, I also have a similar preference. I completely echo the sentiment in terms of speed, in terms of directness. I think we need to be counter-aggressive for this one, and with Ugarte, we will get that. Casemiro, to be honest, is not a bad choice, but I just feel that he has had a couple of errors in him, and maybe we can't afford that at this place. And if Ugarte has got the minutes, has come into the team and seen those tactics come through, I think we should be in a good position to start with Ugarte, Menu, and Bruno.